Welcome, podcast listeners, to Women Talk Construction. I'm here with, really, I said, I'm here with that's what we do, right? Like
Yes.
we mess up. It's okay. So I'm here with Angela Gardner today, my co-host. And one of the things that we have noticed is that we've gotten the most listeners on our introduction than a lot of our other podcasts.
Yes.
So we think that we've evolved. We hope that you think so
grown.
too. And so
Gotten better.
we're going to do another intro today.
Yes.
We would love for you, if you're new, first of all, if you're new, welcome to our channel. I
Yes,
hope that
welcome.
you love it. If you do love it, whether you're new or whether you've been listening for a while, if you would please review us on your favorite listening platform, we would really appreciate it. So now we're just going to talk about why we started Women Talk Construction, where we've come from, where we're at today, and where we want our future to go. So I'm really looking forward to talking to you today, Angela, and us just kind of reminiscing about why we started Women Talk Construction, and just talk a little bit about ourselves and why
Yeah.
people would want to listen to us.
Yeah. Well, so we started talking about it back in 2021.
Yes.
And a large part for me was because we're in a group called Women Construction Forum, and we just kept hearing all these stories, or I did locally and somewhat online, but you heard them everywhere, all over when you would travel. So we wanted to share them. And so in March of 2022, we started this wonderful venture together, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And that's that's when we made the first intro. And of course, and just a little bit about myself, I'm Angela Gardner, and I am the Director of Business Development and Marketing for Hill Electric. That's my job now, which I love dearly. I love the team. We're only a South Carolina or upstate based industrial electrician, but my history has been, I've spent all of my life in construction. I grew up in it. My grandfather was a plumber. My dad's an architect. So a lot of times Dad would bring us on job sites, and we would be right there helping with whatever that we needed to do. I would run blueprints, and then I worked in my family business for 18 years, which was Don Gardner Architects, and a well-known stock house plan company all over the U.S. But we sold our plans internationally, and I worked my way up to president, and that was huge for me. A lot of growth, and then I also ran it during the Great Recession, and hopefully I built it back up. We pivoted, and now I switched from residential to industrial. And I love the fact that I've gotten to learn all these different industries and all these different roles and all the opportunities that I've been given, because I've also been given some responsibilities where I've been on site and can actually relate to all those things that I did in the past, what people went through or how they dealt with it. And I could apply what I knew and learn more. And I know you've done the same thing throughout your career. So why don't you share a little bit about what you've done and who you work for now? 'Cause
Okay.
I think you're pretty special.
I think you're special too, and thank you. Honestly, I don't know that I would have taken this new role 3.5 years, almost 4 years ago, if it hadn't
Wow.
been for
Has it been
reaching
that
out to Angela. Yes. I reached out to Angela via LinkedIn and just said, hey, should
That's
I go
how
for
we
it?
met.
So that's how we met. But a little bit about me. I work for 84 Lumber Company. Love my company. Love the culture. Love the fact that we are bringing more women on a regular basis in all roles. It's been really cool to see. We have some pretty amazing women in our company, from the store level all the way up to our VP of marketing. And of course, our owner, Maggie, which is a big inspiration to me. She's a serial entrepreneur. Love the way she does business. Love the way she cares about her people and cares about her community. But I handle the women-owned business for the company. Pretty much run the Women Business Enterprise division, and we have over 100 WBE ambassadors that we help bring leads to. We provide sales opportunities. We get to do some training on what it means to do business with the government and do business with supplier diverse companies, and just how to engage with women-owned businesses. There's a lot of women-owned builders out there, and so we are really committed to helping women-owned builders and minority-owned builders just grow their businesses. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I feel like we've brought to our company as a division is we have an initiative called Build the Way. And we're building the way to help women and minorities grow in their business. There's a big disconnect between small business and these big general contractors that we love and do business with, and they need these small and minority-owned contractors. So being able to build that bridge is really helpful
so
for me.
important.
Yes, before this, I was 26 years in the field, project management, estimating, budgeting, making selections for all of my customers. I love my customers. They were my best friends. I didn't have friends other than my customers for probably a good 20 out of the 26 years because, I would work all day.
Yeah.
I'd be in the field and check on job sites. And then at night I would read blueprints after my daughter went to bed and I cooked dinner. So it's been a fun journey. And I've been pretty successful at it. Being in any sales role is tough, but being in a sales role in a construction industry, I was the only one that I could find. Once in a while you'd see one pop up, but they didn't stay long, which was very interesting to me. Like there weren't women who joined a sales team and stayed in the sales team at a lumberyard. So that's not what I saw in my past. So it felt pretty lonely. And, but I also have a good mentality of what, women do go through day to day in the field. And, now in an executive level, there are challenges for every human, whether you're a female or a male.
Yes.
And that's in, boots on the ground and also in executive positions. There are challenges, and communication is the key to facing those challenges. So that's a little bit about me, and why I loved starting WTC was I had a lot of our customers that were coming to me and asking me, how do we get more women to join our team? Because, we have a shortage of 650,000 people in our industry. And so I was also hearing the stories that Angela was hearing about, the struggles that the women were having on a job site, and just having another woman listen to what you're going through is amazing. But then when you have another woman listening like Angela and I that are 100% positive and 100% involved in their life and want them to stay in our industry, it makes a huge difference for a female in our industry. Is just having somebody saying, hey, I know how you feel. Let me tell you how I navigated that and how you can make it better, like how you can make your situation better. And I wish somebody had been telling me that back in the day. So Women Talk Construction got started because Angela and I both felt very passionate about just making a path for women in our industry. It is a viable and fruitful career for everyone, not just for women. And I wanted students to see that not only they can love their job, but they can love being there. I loved my job, but I didn't always love being on the job. And I did that in quotations if you're listening instead of watching. But I really would love to see our industry evolve into a place, and I think Angela does too with our podcast. That's why we're doing what we're doing. To a place that when a woman walks in, whether she's 20 or 50, she just feels comfortable being there, right? And realizes that this is a viable option and I can do this to support my family, because I went from working 3 jobs. In accounting, I was actually an accountant, and I had 2 part-time jobs on the side, to being able to take my daughter to dinner, and we were able to have ends meet because I was a single mom. So it was definitely a big step for me, but it was also, one of those things that I was like, just go for it. Right. And I did it, and then found the love of my passion, my passion for a career. And I had been in many roles prior to that because I just couldn't find what was exciting enough for me or what was interesting enough for me. And I'm very analytical, and I love to hunt and fish and do all the things outdoors. So being outdoors, it just fit my mold. So I know that this quality of the podcast is going to be much better. And I have to say, and I'm sure Angela's going to toot his horn as well, we couldn't be where we're at today if it wasn't for Michael Powell.
Yes.
And all his excellent editing skills and the advice that he gives us every day when we make a mistake or how to make us better.
Guidance.
Sometimes that guidance is a little annoying, right? Because we
okay.
are working
we
really
learn.
Yeah, for sure. But we work really hard at our full-time jobs.
Yes.
And sometimes it just feels like we just want to get on here and talk, right? We don't care that it sounds really great, but he does.
Yeah.
And I just want him to know how much I love him and how much, because he is my husband, but also how much we appreciate everything that he does, because he's been working tirelessly for free for a very long time. And
well, we all have, right?
Yes, we all have.
Yeah, and we're sharing these amazing stories.
Yes, but we are to the point now where we do see some interest in folks helping sponsor us. And of course, 84 Lumber and Hill Electric are really great at being supporters for us.
Oh, yes.
But anyway, I just wanted to shout out to him because we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. So shout out to my husband, not only because he's my husband, but because he is an excellent audio engineer and he cares about what you're listening to and about how you feel when you're listening to us, because he literally thinks through the music that goes along with sad stories and with, excitement. He's just really on top of things. So that's my big shout out for the rest of our team. And Alex, she's helping us with scheduling. So I just really want to make sure that we say today, it's not just me and you. It's literally, yeah, we have some great folks that are helping us get this message out to you. And we thank you.
Oh, yeah.
For listening.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, we talked about why, and we talked about when we started. We did. There's a lot that makes us similar and different, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those are really great qualities because we can complement each other, but then we can also support each other with just our differences. But this is the deal, too. On the back scene, I want everyone to understand that Christy and I are huge supporters of each other.
Yes.
Beyond this podcast, beyond Women Talk Construction, we're always checking in on each other. We're supporting each other however we can. And what we want from that is for others to see it and understand that that is the way that really we should all be motivated to support each other. Because, Christy, doesn't it just, it creates a more thriving environment for all.
Yes, and it makes us better.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
And I mean, we don't always share, ooh, you did celebration. We also share things like, hey, this is how maybe it could have gone better, or we get advice from each other. So that's really important too. So
valuable.
Yes, it's huge. I think we were going to talk about, the one thing I do want to mention that's different now than the first one is the fact that you and I get to hear so many different testimonials or messages from women and men that reach out to us either on, either in the comments on our social post, or they DM us, or they email us.
Yeah.
It could even be the speakers on our podcast, and they share with us the impact that we're making, or how it's impacted them personally, just in that one little being on the podcast. How wonderful is that? That's what drives us, right?
It is. When we get super tired, that's what really
exhausted
motivates us to. It fuels us to keep moving on.
Yeah. Like during Women in Construction Week, that was a bit exhausting.
Yes, for sure. But we appreciate that people are focusing on
yes.
women in the industry, more so than ever.
Right.
And I just have to throw a stat out there that one of our salespeople shared with me at the Greenville location. Actually, I think he's a part of our installed sales team. But he shared an article with me, and I could find it, and I'll put it in the show notes if I can find it, that the Southeast has more women joining the industry than any other region in the United States. And he himself contributes that to us. And that was the coolest testimony for me. So not only was he a man in my company, but he contributed the fact that we're making an impact in our industry. And he really did say that it was us. Yeah, I don't know if you saw that or not, but maybe I need to snapshot that and send it to you.
I don't
but
think
that was
I
a big,
saw it. But
that was a big, impactful testimony for me.
I love that.
So so it's making a difference, right? It matters. We're
I think
helping
we
our
are.
workforce.
Yes, we definitely are. These conversations. I know that for a fact that there's companies out there that when they're on our podcast, they see a difference in the attitudes either of their vendors or whomever because they're sharing our podcast either in their newsletters or in some other
teams.
Fashion. Yes, a lot of these construction companies now have created women construction teams, which we speak in front of.
Yes.
But it's so amazing to watch this evolution of change and collaboration. So
we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
But just being able to see the needle moving, even if it's slow, is what really drives Angela and I to do.
The
what we do
needle
every
is
day.
moving.
It is moving. I feel
That's
like we
the
were
key.
stagnant for hundreds of years, but now it seems like the needle is moving.
Yeah, the
I'm
needle.
not that old, by the way.
No, she is not.
Not hundreds of years old anyway.
No. But, I think on this one too, we can certainly share with our followers how they can help us because, that's a big thing now too,
It
because
is.
we need support, just like everyone else does.
We need more downloads. Share it.
Keep
Please
continuing.
share it.
Yeah. Downloads. Please follow us on all the social accounts, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, please like it, subscribe, and engage with us. Make a comment. That will help us tremendously. And like I said before, too, share it with your marketing team. And get it in their your newsletter.
That really helps us.
Yeah. So, but is there anything else we could talk about?
Well, Patreon
Intro?
or not Patreon, our Buzzsprout donation, less than a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
You can help us get Michael
Which we
paid.
have several people.
Which would be cool. $3 a month. It can go all the way up to thousands if you want to give thousands. But that's an easy way to support us monetarily. That really
Which
isn't
you and
taking a
I
lot of
do
money out.
already.
Absolutely.
Just because even though we do this, we want to support Women Talk Construction as well. So,
yes. Supporting us that way, supporting us by sharing it in your newsletter. If you've been on the podcast, put the link to your podcast in your signature line. Easy stuff.
Great, yeah.
Because you're getting your message out to the folks that you're sending an email to every day. And every now and then somebody's going to click on that and see how amazing you are. Because we do focus on our guests and what our guests need and not really what we need. So, by you putting that link in your signature line, it's really going to help you grow, right? And people are going to know who you are and what you say, because a lot of times emails go back and forth, but you don't get to talk to those folks every day, right?
Mm-hmm. I think we're all learning in this world of social media and just different way of connecting that it really does matter how many people you know and you're connected with, and if they remember you.
Right.
And I certainly think if you've been on Women Talk Construction, you'll be remembered.
Yes, I do too. Well, I think that's what we're good at, right? People remember the way you made them feel. And I think Angela and I, that's probably one of our gifts is not only do we do a great job at our work and what we do every single day, in the business world, which is for me sales and for her business development, but we also, in each of those meetings, whether they're business related or personal, we
Yeah.
do like to walk away knowing that we made someone feel better.
And this is something we can add that we didn't add in our first one. Every time we do an episode with one of our guests, you don't hear this, but after we're finished, we stop, and that guest always tells us how comfortable we made them feel,
Yes,
and
that is
how
nice.
easy it was, and how they just felt like they were sitting in their living room having a chat with some great friends, right?
Yes.
I
yeah.
mean, so-
we do make it we try to make it very comfortable. It's even more comfortable when it's just Angela and I
Yeah.
because, we don't have to come up with these questions that are really going to be, honestly, we go through a ton of work on the back end
Yes.
to make sure that we get the most impactful message out to our listeners. So I hope you appreciate it. If you do and you love it, if there's something in particular you want, please let us know.
Yes.
Right? If there's a speaker that you would like to hear from because you just know they're dynamic, or please let us know. We are open to listening to some speakers. We do have a lot of people reach out to us. We are booked
Yes.
for a long time out, but we want to
are.
know what you want to hear, right? That would be great. And Michael asked us to do a survey not long ago. I think I forgot to tell Angela this, so I'm telling you now. Michael thinks we need to do a survey on social media to find out what people want to hear and who they want to hear from. So you'll probably be seeing that in the next few months.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Well, it looks like we're at our 20 minutes.
We are.
Because we're
Gosh, it
trying to
goes so
keep
fast.
I know. Well,
So
yeah.
thank you, Angela, and thank you all of you listeners.
thank you.
Whether you're new or you've been listening for a long time, just by listening, you're making an impact on our industry, and we appreciate you.
Yes, we do.
Have a great day.